Okay, as I stated before, I'm going to use a piece of an old broken one here. This is my brother's first brushless Mustang that got shot down by a pine tree in enemy territory. The pilot survived though. Anyway, just get yourself a good blade and just very carefully. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry, but a couple things I want to mention is you got to very slowly remove these decals. Now I'm trying to do this one-handed, holding the camera and picking this off here at the same time. Because one of the things that will happen if you get in a hurry, just like I did right there, I dug in too deep. You don't want to pull this top surface of foam off. This is smoother up here, and you can see here where I got in a hurry removing the red pinstripe from Gunfighter, which goes down. When I peeled the decal off, it tore some of the top layer of foam off right here, which left it real porous, and it looks terrible, especially once you get the new paint on it. It really stands out. So just be really careful peeling this decal up. Kind of think what I need to do is get a little bit better blade here and just kind of pick up underneath one edge, get enough that you can get your fingers on it, and what I'm going to do is put the camera on the tripod here. There. Now I can use both hands. Alright, hold this thing steady. Kind of lift. Real careful. Not having much success here. Alright, let's see what kind of damage I'm doing. Oh no, I'm ruining it. Okay, well there we go. Now I got some smooth stuff. Just very, very gently peel that decal back. And that's it. That's how you're going to remove the decals. But as you can see, you got to be real gentle in doing this. Okay, looks like the only areas we got some damage here is kind of right in here when I was first picking at it. But that's an example. I'm kind of glad that happened, because that shows you what happens if you get in too much of a hurry and you don't peel it nice and careful. You're going to rip some of the surface foam off. Okay, and here we are. I've got the sanding finished on the canopy. We'll take a little bit closer look at that here in a minute. It's not flawless, but it definitely looks better than the alligatoring. As you can see, the plane is all primered now and ready for its actual color scheme. One thing you might want to note is I didn't bother, let me take the camera off the stand here and we'll walk around it. I didn't bother saturating the airplane with a real thick coat of primer. You don't need to. Just as long as you've got a decent coat on that the paint that you're going to finish the plane with will stick to. There's no reason to soak it down. So you can still kind of see the red of the fuel cap through there, and that's not a big issue at all. So we did the whole plane. You can still see some of the yellow here in the rudder. That's fine. Not a big deal. You just kind of want to get a bit of a coating on there for the paint to stick. One of the things I do here with the paint, we're going to start with the aluminum, is I add some BBs to it. Thanks to a buddy of mine talking me into getting into airsoft. He wants to do indoor combat. I have this handy dandy gun over here I got for my birthday. And we're going to use 3 of the BBs, put it in a can. It works good to stir the paint, shake it up, and then we're going to pour it right straight into this bottle and hook it to the gun and get going. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera back on the tripod here and do just that. Alright. BBs are in. Just shake it up really good. Okay. And then just pour it straight into the bottle. Alright, here's the air spray bottle. All clean and ready to go. And we're just going to put it right straight on in there. As much as we can. As you can see, this is one of the bigger bottles. I don't think I've used any out of it, but that's about as full as it made this one. And it's the since that one now has the BBs in it, I'm going to use that as the main bottle and pour all the other ones in there as we go along. And get it all hooked up. Okay, here we are, all set. A little Aztec brush. I forget what model number this is right offhand. Grab a little scrap of cardboard here and shoot some paint on it and see if it's going to give us a coat. Probably help if I turn the compressor on. There we go. And I'll just spray a few lines on here. Make sure it's covering. Make sure the brush isn't clogging up. There we go. And you can see it's not very thick lines, so it takes a while to get a decent coat on here. And we'll zoom in. And we'll do a little bit under the canopy here just to show you. If you can see it that well. Now it even took me a minute here with this lighting to see if I was even getting any on there, because it still looks gray to me. But might be able to see a little bit of the reflection of the light on the silver here. It's getting there. A little bit of the front here. I try to keep it out of where the blue is going to be so we don't have to paint over the aluminum. As you know, silver or any metallic color like that is really hard to paint over and have the paint stick and stay on very well. So back that out just a little bit. Ding, 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 ding. There we go. Make sure this thing's still spraying. Oh yeah, we're good. Starting to get a decent little coat on here. Let's see how much of the plane we got in the video. There we go. I don't know where we're at. Okay, we're back, and I've got a fan blowing in the background. It's all about the beat, man. Yes, I'm a drummer, in case some of you didn't know that. I got a fan blowing in the background to kind of disperse some of the fumes and whatnot. It doesn't get too bad in here. But anyway, I already tested it out. going to keep the commentary down to a minimum because we have the AC going, a fan going, and the air compressor. So you can just watch. I'm just going to do is go back and forth and try and get good coverage on this. And here we go. I go ahead do this area too, because between your, if you don't, it kind of looks silly behind your spinner, so it makes it look a little better. Or if you want to get real accurate, you can even take like green zinc chromate. Most of the planes in Europe had the green zinc chromate, and you'll notice a lot of the ones in the Mediterranean theater had yellow. If you do some research on that, you'll notice that. So for the blue nosers, it was green. And I didn't do it on this plane, I don't believe, but on the other two, I actually did the inside of the cowling with zinc green. So when you look in the plane, it kind of gives it a little more of a real appearance. Trying to keep my hand out of the way as much as possible here. And that's one of the reasons I redid the, I decided to edit out the spackling portion, because like an idiot I didn't realize I had my hand right in the way of the whole thing, so you get a bunch of this. It was very annoying. Now once we get what we think is a pretty good coat on here, we'll let it dry a little bit. Flat paint doesn't take any more than about 10-15 minutes, if that. And the other side will probably be dry by the time I finish this side. And hold it up in the light, kind of tip it at some angles, get a good look at it, make sure you've got a nice even coverage. Have any thin areas where the primer's showing through. Now if you go out and get a larger airbrush, places like Harbor Freight or Northern Tool, or some places here in the States that are pretty good, you can order through catalog. You can find some pretty decent larger airbrushes that are pretty cheap, and will do more coverage. Unfortunately, of all the tips that came with this, this is about the best one as far as wide coverage, this one and the black one.